What's good, YouTube? It's your boy NYC Mike, man, and I'm back with another reaction video, man. You already know the vibes. Today, we're gonna be reacting to the infamous debate between these two trans women, right? And my boy Matt Walsh, bro. You get what I'm saying? Now listen, right? I never seen like the actual full debate, so I'm just as excited for this as y'all may be. You get what I'm saying? Well, at least I hope y'all excited to watch this with me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm excited to see this. You feel me? I heard they got destroyed in this debate. You feel me? But I heard the audience, they was on some weird type of timing too. But I ain't gonna waste our time. We're gonna get straight into it. But before we get straight into the video, man, I just need y'all to do me a real quick favor, man. I need y'all to hit that like button. I also need y'all to hit that subscribe button and make sure you turn on those post notifications so you get notified when I upload a new video, man. Without further ado, we're gonna get straight into the video.
People telling her that this isn't pretend, he's really a walrus. And his mother takes him to the doctor to have him surgically transitioned and gets him walrus hormone pills, and then eventually tries to drop him off at a zoo to live with other walrus. Not only topping the Amazon charts, my book has taken the world by storm.
Well, you just saw my next guest, author and conservative host of Daily Wire's The Matt Walsh Show, talking about his recently published children's book that has since been removed online by a popular large retail chain. Now, Matt says gender is not a social construct, but rooted firmly in biology. True?
True, absolutely. Well, actually, just to clarify, and with all due respect, but most of what we just heard in the previous segment was total nonsense, which is why when you were pushing for definitions and that sort of thing, they were not able to provide it because it's just nonsensical.
They just had to zoom out of
that. We have a sex, male or female, but as a biological scientific fact. Now, gender is a linguistic term. Words have gender. People don't.
You're saying that there should be no construct of gender, just sex. You're either male or female.
Right.
And someone feeling in a mental, emotional way that they don't identify with the sex that they have been.
Dr. Phil, are you serious? This is not rocket science. This is not hard to understand. Like, why? Like, come on, bro. But I get it. I get it. Dr. Phil, you're mainstream. You feel me? You work in Hollywood. So you have to put on this facade. You have to put on this act that you're not against the trans community. I get it. You feel me? You have to put on this facade and act. Because if you do go against that community, they're going to cancel you. You feel me? So you have to be careful about what you say. You know what I'm saying? Because you work for Hollywood. You feel me? You can't even say how you feel. Because if you do, you're going to get canceled. You know what I'm saying? I get it, though. I get it.
Biologically created as and assigned at birth based on their genitalia. If they don't feel that way, that there's no construct that describes that, experiences that.
Well, that's got nothing to do with the reality. So you can feel however you want. I mean, I could sit here and say that I feel like a tomato plant, but that doesn't mean that I actually am those things. So your self-perception, you can have whatever self-perception you want, but you can't expect me to take part in that self-perception or to take part in this kind of charade, this theatrical production.
Exactly.
You don't get your own pronouns, just like you don't get your own prepositions or your own adjectives. You know, it's like if I were to tell you, my adjectives are handsome and brilliant. And no matter whatever you're talking about me, you have to describe me as handsome and brilliant because that's how I identify. It makes no sense. You don't get your own pronouns. That's grammar. That's language.
So you think it's a delusion? Someone is self-delusional.
Yeah, I think it's delusion. It could be mental illness. It could be it's a lot of different things. With children, wow. You know, there's also just a basic confusion.
What are you saying wow for?
Like that's why when you hear
that's you. That's you. Say, yes.
My 4-year-old son came to me and said that I'm a girl now, and so that's what I'm gonna raise him as a girl. No, you're a 4-year-old. I have 4 kids. When a 4-year-old boy comes to you and says, "Oh, I'm a girl," here's a good follow-up question. What is a girl? Ask him what he means by that. What do you mean by girl? And when you ask him that, here's what he'll tell you. He will tell you what he really means is that he wants to do some of the things that girls do, like play with the dollhouse, or you know, he likes the color pink. That's fine. Play with the dollhouse. but you're still a boy. That's a question I would like to throw out to other members of the panel, actually, because just like the 4-year-old can't answer what is a girl. Well, this is one of the problems with this left-wing gender ideology, is that no one who espouses it can even tell you what these words mean. It's like, what is a woman? Well, can you tell me what a woman is?
No, I can't. Because it's not for me to say. Womanhood looks
What?
different for everybody.
What do you define a woman
boy.
as?
An adult human female.
And what does a female mean?
Well,
How
that's
do you define a
someone with female reproductive organs.
Okay.
Someone who's, here's the thing: when you're female, it goes right down to your bones, your DNA. So that's why if someone dies, we could dig up their bones 100 years from now. We have no idea what they believed in their head, but we can tell what sex they were because it's ingrained in every fiber of their being.
Interesting. So I'm trying to understand. Your definition is that a woman is someone who is female, you said, right?
Correct. Is a biological female.
So what happens if we have maybe someone who is female, identifies as a woman, right? Cisgender woman, right? As you just explained, maybe doesn't have the ability to reproduce.
That's not what he's talking about, bro. You see how they trying to like switch it? Like, bro, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about. Like, what happens if they can't get pregnant or reproduce? That doesn't change the fact that they're still a woman. That's like saying, well, if a guy doesn't have a penis, then does that mean that he's not a man anymore? Like, bro, first of all, look, right? That's like saying if a guy can't produce sperm, that makes him not a man because he can't produce sperm. No, he's still a biological man. He just can't produce sperm. That's all. The hell? You feel me? That doesn't make him any less of a man. You get what I'm saying? Because on a biological level, he will always be a man. So, like, what are you talking about? Like, that...
Maybe he doesn't have those organs that you're talking about that are reproductive organs.
I have answered the question. You stood up here and said trans women are women.
Yes.
Tell me what you mean. What is a woman?
Womanhood is something that, just as Ethan explained, I cannot define because I am not
But
myself.
you used the word. So what did you mean when you said trans women are women if you don't know what it means?
Right. So here's the thing.
Oh,
So
Lord.
I do not define what a woman is because I do not identify as a woman. Womanhood is something that is an umbrella term. It includes people
That describes what?
people who identify as a woman.
Identify as what?
As a woman.
What is that?
Was to each their own. Each woman, each man, each person is going to have a different relation with their own gender identity and define it differently. And so trans women are women too.
What are they clapping for? What are y'all clapping for? He didn't even answer the question. He didn't answer the question. What are they clapping for? You know what I'm saying? This is sick, man. This is disgusting. This is disgusting, bro.
Reduce women, you want to reduce men down to maybe just their genetics, our genitals, our chromosomes, right? That's what you're saying.
You want to do is
that's
what you want to do is appropriate women. You want to appropriate womanhood and turn it into basically a costume that can be worn. We've got when we. Hey, it's real funny. It's real funny. It's real funny when you're.
Should look like. Self-man, you're literally saying this is what a woman is.
Yeah. Well,
Isn't that a little sexist?
Because I am willing to define it, but you won't.
Hang on. We've heard how Matt feels about pronouns, but my next guest says those who oppose them are asking the wrong questions.
Might not be comfortable with the language change. And it just is awkward. And so they're afraid of not being courteous or being accepting. So there's like these two things. There's actually combating and not being, you don't like transgender, the idea of transgender. That's different than pronouns. But then just for most people, it's just feeling a little bit awkward and unsure and not wanting to hurt or offend somebody.
Well, why is it important for educators to teach about gender identity, gender presentation, and pronouns? Why do you think that's important?
Because there is a difference.
That's not important. No teacher should be telling my kids about what their gender is. No teachers should even feel comfortable even talking to children about stuff like that. They're children. They don't need to be knowing about their sex and like You don't need to be talking to little kids about stuff like that. That is inappropriate. They don't need to be learning about stuff like that. They're kids. Like, and the fact that there are people out here that think stuff like this is okay, it's just disgusting to me, man. There's nothing cool about that at all. This is disturbing, bro. This is really disturbing.
Difference. There is biological sex, and a lot of times people are conflating sex and gender. So there's biological
She just
sex, and
looks
then there's gender,
crazy.
and that's a social
Tattoos on her
construct in the
neck
sense
and all
that
that, like, bro.
just because you're born biologically a female doesn't mean you automatically want to vacuum, for instance, which is usually a feminine activity or conflated that way. And so,
What are you talking about? A vacuum? What are you talking about? Who said that was a feminine activity? Who said that? Like, you're just making stuff up. You're just talking just to be talking. Like,
it's this idea of giving children in age appropriate ways an understanding that that these things aren't set in stone. Gender identity is not tied to biology.
You say that gender's not set in stone.
It's not.
What do you mean?
I mean that's just factually incorrect. Saying that. So you have biology is the
bro, even Dr. Phil is not buying into this, like, into this nonsense. He's not buying into this, bro. He just has to put up an act like he's buying into it so that he don't get canceled. Because, you know, Dr. Phil, he works for Hollywood. So, like, you know, he really gotta be careful. You feel me?
the chromosomal makeup and reproductive organs and all of that. And so that would be sort of the nature side of things. But the nurture side of things is where we see more of gender identities.
She began by saying that my view is extreme. Okay, so the view that every single person on Earth has held up until 15 seconds ago is extreme, and the view that almost everyone does right now still holds extreme, apparently, according to her. But there is this they are conflating gender and sex, because on one hand they say, well, you got your biological sex, but then your gender is whatever social construct. But then they turn around and say that trans women are women. So a man who identifies with the gender, the social construct of womanhood, actually is a woman. So if you can laugh all you want, but this is a logical problem. You are conflating sex and gender just by saying that. So that's the problem.
There's biological sex, and then there is gender identity. Part of me wants to ask why you care so much, because it's really not that big of a deal.
Oh yeah,
Oh boy. You see, and that's what people who don't have nothing else to combat with, that's what people do. That's when people are losing a debate, when people have nothing else left in their arsenal, when they have nothing else to say, they start using insults. They start saying stuff like, why do you care so much? Why do you care so much? You get what I'm saying? That's how you know that she is delusional. She doesn't know what she's talking about. You feel me? That's what people do. That's what people who don't have nothing else left to say. You feel me? Because the reality is that Matt Walsh, he's speaking facts. You get what I'm saying? It's sad, man. It's sad.
I love to answer that question.
Sad.
I care about the truth. So basic truth matters. I want to live in a society where people care about the truth and we're grounded in truth. Right. I care about children, and these insane ideas about gender are being foisted on kids, and that bothers me quite a bit. I care about the women who are having their opportunities stolen from them. I care quite a bit. Yeah.
You are a champion for women. I'm more interested in creating a productive space where we can try to build some kind of an acceptance around other people, and exposing children to different ideas around gender identity. I don't think is a problematic thing with parents being involved.
My next guest are parents who say, no way should children.
Okay, I might do a part 2 to this. I don't know. But depending on how part 1 does you feel me? If y'all really messing with part 1, you feel me? Or if y'all really messing with this video, then I'll definitely do a part 2 to this. But yeah, I'm gonna just end the video off right there, man. And all I really gotta say is that this society is sick, man. We need help, and we need more people like Matt Walsh to speak out on these type of things and concepts, because like I said in one of my previous videos, that this is a big deal, man. For some of you that are acting like this stuff is not a big deal, it is a very big deal. And we need more people to come out and speak up on these type of things. You get what I'm saying? Because these type of things are damaging society along with other things as well. You get what I'm saying? So if you're watching this and you don't think this is a big deal, and the only reason why you probably don't think it's a big deal is because it's not affecting you. So of course you're not going to think it's a big deal because it's not affecting you. But like I said in my previous videos, just because it's not affecting you directly, that does not mean that it's not an overall problem or overall issue to society. You get what I'm saying? So that's why it's very important that you need to be self-aware of what is going on in our society. But yeah, man, I'm gonna just end the reaction on that, man. You feel me? Y'all already know what to do, man. Hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Turn those post notifications on. You feel me? And I'm gonna see y'all in the next video, man.